So guys, we're back with another episode, and as always, we're going to start with a wee story.
Oh yes. So today's interesting story is a groom secretly learns Korean to surprise his wife on their wedding day.
Ooh.
I thought it was very sweet. So there's this guy, and I think I follow him online. He's a fitness influencer, and he's done like bodybuilding and all that stuff, and then he's kind of like now into more like being more body positive and not stressing about how you look. His wife is Korean, so he secretly learnt the language for a year and surprised at their wedding day by like saying a few things. I think like a wedding speech in Korean, and I was like,
that's quite
so
sweet.
wholesome. So yeah, have you guys ever done anything big gesture like that for someone else or surprise anyone?
I don't think in like that sense, like I'd learn like a new skill or anything, but like if someone who I care about was like into something that maybe I normally wouldn't,
Yeah.
like even just like a TV show or some music that
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't listen to it, like I'd listen to it
Oh,
for
fair.
them. Yeah.
Great, I'll watch a TV show with you. That's how much I love you.
Learning a new language is a bit out of my range of like skills.
What's your line? Learn a language. That's the
Yeah.
line. Okay, fair. What about you?
I feel like I'm pretty similar to you. I don't think I've ever done anything that big a gesture, but I've also not been married, so that could also.
That's fair. Yeah, same. Not yet.
But no, I think listening to people's music is quite a common thing people do.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever learned like a skill or anything.
Would you like learn guitar to serenade them or something?
In public? No.
Just break into like a mob flash dance kind of thing. Yeah. I think if someone did that, I'd
have to leave.
Yeah.
What about you then?
I probably would learn a language. I quite learning languages, so I probably would try and like get a few phrases here or there. But knowing me, I'd probably end up learning like insults by accident, and then going off to them and like, "Let me teach you what I've learned," and they're just like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "Right, okay, never mind." But yeah, that
was sweet. That is sweet.
Quite a sweet story.
Maybe if you get like in a relationship when you're that far, you're like, okay, I want to marry you. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
I feel like, but especially with like Korea, because their culture is such an important part.
Yeah.
Of like who they are as well, and like family. So I think
Yeah.
especially if their family mostly only speaks Korean, I think in that situation, I think it is a really good thing to learn the language.
Yeah.
Because I've got friends at home whose like grandparents only speak Chinese.
Oh wow.
So like they were always like, I really want anyone I'm dating seriously to be able to actually communicate with them.
Yeah.
Because I think that's otherwise you'd sit there really
Awkwardly
and
yeah.
having no idea.
That's so sweet.
Oh,
Yeah. So we are back with another episode. I'm Danielle.
I'm Dominique.
And as you can see, we have a special guest on today for the first time in the podcast.
Yes, we have.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi.
No pressure.
Hi, I'm Ananya, and I'm also a medical student alongside Danielle and Dominique.
Yeah.
Yes. So Ananya is joining us today as we kind of wrap up our series on starting uni, getting into uni and settling into it. She's going to tell you a bit more about this fabulous society she started, and we're going to grill her on this episode today about it as well.
Yeah.
We're going to also have our usual Q&A story time as well as fabulous hot seat.
Yeah, which she will be entering.
Yeah.
So which
No
I only
pressure.
found out about today.
No pressure.
This is just us showing you that we really like to throw people under pressure.
Do you know what? Give no information. And they
Nothing
come, they're
at
like,
all.
okay, great.
And don't forget, we do have our leaderboard, and we were just telling Ananya earlier that whoever's last on that leaderboard is going to have to do a forfeit challenge that you guys will be deciding. So, you know, I don't want to say like share this with all your friends because they might be really mean and like, but also do share it with your friends, and we can get like lots of fun, interesting things lined up. So yeah.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram and TikTok if you want to get engaged, and we'll put in suggestions for different dares, different like punishments
Challenges.
for
Yeah.
losing the hot seat. Also to interact with us, give suggestions for episodes, give like questions for the Q&A and for the story time, and follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and not TikTok, Spotify.
As we said, we have been doing this series on sort of getting into uni, settling in, sort of uni in general, uni life. So we thought we'd look at making friends at uni. I think that's the sort of last big topic. And I think we've all come from like different places in our like coming into uni experiences. So I thought it'd be really good to sort of chat about that and how then your society fits into that and what you guys have been up to. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's give a bit of background. We'll start with Danielle. How has your sort of settling into uni experience been, making friends at uni? How have you found that?
Well, so just for a bit of background, if like this is your first time watching, I think we talked about it a bit. I started a degree in Strathclyde engineering, did 1 year of that, and then dropped out and did medicine. And both experiences were quite different. Strathclyde, it was like, I don't want to say it was a bit harder to make friends, but like, I guess coming out of school, you're like 17, you're like, what's happening? But yeah, left that because I didn't like the degree, and then went into medicine, which I feel like it's quite easy to like settle in because you're like in like cohorts, you're in like different groups that you end up just like making friends with people quite, because like medicine's like got like this bubble where like you're like sort of like pushed together. So like it ends up being like, you find people quite quick that like you're similar interests. So like you do end up like sort of forming a bond quite quickly. But then out with that, started the cross, started other stuff like other societies, like even going out with like other people from like different courses. So I feel like it's been like a pretty nice transition. Yeah. What about you?
So similar, I did chemistry before and then I did medicine. With chemistry, because it was like at the start, people that did biology or did maths, everyone was sort of in different places. So it was harder to make friends because your timetable was very different. As we got more into like the core group of like people that were going to finish chemistry as their degree, we did get closer as a group. And again, because it's quite an intense subject, you're in all the time together. We went on placements. We had a group of us that were on placement. We were all chatting as well and then came back and did our masters. You do get to build a really good relationship with people, and I think that really helps when you do really intense courses because a lot of that is like emotional support as you're going through the exams and stuff. So I have some really good friends that I made on the course there. And then coming into medicine, I was like, I guess not as much pressure of being straight out of school, trying to find my way. I had friends that were in Glasgow already, so it wasn't as intense for me in that sense. But I do think it was kind of difficult because I was in this sort of limbo of being like, okay, I'm not a school leaver, but I'm also like, I didn't think I was a mature student, so I was like, where do I fit? I still like to go out and party, but I probably can't do like 5 days in a row that I did in like freshers in chemistry. So I think it's trying to find the balance of like where I fit, and I think now third year I'm kind of getting into that, and I'm like, okay, this is my routine, this is what I can actually like cope with. And I've got like a few friends in different places that I'm like, okay, I'm happy with. And it's funny because I feel like all three of us have like known each other since first year. Like we were in the same like PBL together, and then we've been in the same like VS group and stuff. So like it's nice to see people that even though our groups mix and match, you like keep in touch with people and you're like, oh hey, can do stuff together. So I think it's been a pretty good experience so far. What about yourself?
So I came to Glasgow straight out of school, but I also actually moved because I'd never lived in the UK before. So actually studying at Glasgow was the first time ever living in the UK, because I'd basically grown up in Singapore. So it was a really, really big change coming to Glasgow. And it was also, straight after COVID, so you hadn't really seen anyone, it'd been quite close. But I found that coming here was actually so nice to make friends. And especially, I think, for me at least, I found living in halls made a big difference because I was lucky enough that there were loads of medics as well in my halls, and we could like walk to classes together, because I ended up meeting more people and getting to know people more on the walks, because in lectures and in like classes it's really hard. But I really enjoyed that, and being able to walk with people, and I think I've made some really, really good friends. And it's nice to have medic friends, who also are doing the same course, or as stressed as you are when you're stressed as well, which is quite nice, because then they actually understand like what you're going through in that moment. But I also do loads of netball, so I also do love having my non-medic friends who can just remind me that life is good.
You mentioned about like moving over from Singapore to UK. What are some of like the biggest changes, like cultural changes that you've sort of noticed?
Scottish accent.
Really, yeah.
I think in freshers I struggled to understand what anyone was saying.
Oh, bless.
And even now with some of the lectures, I have to put it in, like, I have to slow them down for some words because I have no idea what they're saying.
That is stressful.
But I am getting better, so that's good. And my parents think that I now have, like, a Scottish, like, lilt to my accent, because sometimes I'll say something and they're like, what did you just say? But I think definitely the accent. I think also because at the time when I moved, Singapore was only allowing people to be in groups of 2.
Oh.
So I went from that and moved here and went clubbing. So that was a very big change.
Fair.
And whereas like all the rules were really strict and it was all very kind of confined because of COVID, moving here was just like, right,
Free for all.
everything's free. Like, rules of suggestion, which I'd never seen in my life before. But I think Glasgow's been a really friendly city to move to. I felt like very welcomed. And I think the one thing which I have found quite like different is I think especially because of the way medicine works with the subsidies and stuff.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, there's a limited number of places for international students, I have felt it's been quite weird for me not to have very many international students sort of around me.
Fair.
Within medicine.
Yeah.
There's 400 of us, and there's not a big proportion of that are from, like, because most are Scotland. Because I think when we started out of the 300, I think the way Glasgow breaks it down is like 200 to 250 are all Scottish.
Wow.
50 to 60 can be from the rest of the UK, and then it's 20 or 25 for internationals. So like I only knew that because I was obviously like applying internationally, so I was looking at the
rates.
The number. I was like, how many places did you say?
Yeah. What are my odds?
But it's just like, you know, it's not something you realize. But I think just having grown up somewhere, I was like, oh, this is really weird that there's not like as many. I've loved everyone I've met here, but it has just been, that was quite a big change for me.
Yeah.
But like I've met like more people from different places through like netball and other societies and stuff like that.
Yeah. Did you go to like an international school in Singapore? Yeah. So like, a lot more diversity and like mingling with people and stuff like that. Did you find it easier to kind of gel with people in that situation, or?
I think it's been quite a big like culture shift moving here, because it's like it's also I think because everyone else I like sort of was at the international school with all had very similar upbringings to me, so it all kind of lived abroad most of their life and moved between places, because Singapore very much was people would stay there for 4 years and leave.
Okay.
Like it was very much like people's like stopover place in the middle, so it was like a lot of friends coming and going. So I think from that I got quite good at meeting people and getting to know people. But it's like little things like references, like pop culture references will go straight over my head half the time, because I'd never seen like I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here ever, or like heard of it before I moved here, and then people mention things and I'm just thinking, what is this? What are you all talking about here? Because I remember in my work one time they were like, oh my god, Paolo Nutini is here, and I went, who? Who's that?
Oh no.
And I had to Google him to everyone else's dismay when I was doing that. So
it's part of the learning experience, you know.
Exactly.
You're here to explore a new place, so that's part of the fun of it. So do you feel like overall you've settled into Glasgow quite well, and like you've made a good group of friends and stuff like that? Like you feel, I don't want to say Glaswegian, but also, yes, Glaswegian.
I don't know if I can ever take the title of Glaswegian, but I think definitely have settled into it 100%. And I've made some really, really lovely friends. And I found that even like being here, I've made like friends from different places. And I've also loved the fact that like people, like everyone in Scotland can like show me around Scotland as well, which has been quite nice, because, you know, I've gone and visited my friends who like live outside of Glasgow, and it's like they can show me what it's like, but actually live in different bits of Scotland. And I just think it's such a stunning country as well, which I hadn't appreciated, I think, until I moved. And it's like Loch Lomond being just down the road, like that's still crazy to me.
Do you know, I've never been to Loch Lomond. I've lived here for like nearly 10 years, but I've never been. It's so bad. I think it's one of those things I always say to my friends and stuff, like when you live in a certain place, you get so used to knowing like that attraction is just there, I'll pop down to it. It's like when I lived in London, I don't think I saw like Big Ben or like the London Eye. Like I'd never really done it, because it was just like, it's just down the road, like I'm sure I'll do it. Whereas now I'm like, here, if I leave Scotland, if I leave Glasgow and someone's
without seeing Loch Lomond,
they're gonna be like, you're fake. I'll be like, oh no.
I get that. Because like I'm like, when people come like to visit Glasgow, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you visiting Glasgow?
Yeah.
What is there to see here?
And then they're like, oh, what's a good thing to do around here? And I'm like, I don't know, like Pizza Crunch. Like,
I
that's,
don't know.
that's not a thing. So I'm like, okay, I need to actually explore Glasgow and like see more sites. So yeah, I like the sound of that. A lot claiming trip could be fun. So did that experience lead you into starting your society? And would you like to tell us all more about this fabulous society?
So my flatmate, Juliet, it was her idea basically, and she had seen a TikTok about a girl who would go on like dinner dates with random people, because she just moved to a new city, so would basically connect with people. I can't remember if it might have been on like Bumble, but like for friendship, and stuff like that. And she would just go and meet people for dinner, and basically Juliet is actually from the States, so she's also sort of a new student who'd come across, and so she thought that it could be a really good way to make friends with people. So basically how the society works is that every month we send out a questionnaire and it's on a different topic. So this month it was on movies, and so people put in their thoughts about like films we've listed, and like they say what their favorite movie is, what genre of movie they like, and we get all those submitted, and we basically then the 5 of us on committee sort through all of the names.
Wow, yeah.
And basically just get everyone paired into either pairs or groups of 3s and 4s of people who've got similar interests, which is quite nice because I think it gives you something straight away to talk about.
Yeah. And have you had quite a good like response to
Too many responses.
Oh, brilliant.
But it's been really good. I think the most we've had is like 200 and
wow.
like 10 people, and it took ages to pair, but I think it's just a really nice idea.
Yeah.
And one thing we hadn't, I think, thought of, because we sort of thought, right, it'll be loads of freshers will do it, but we hadn't considered how much like postgrads would do it.
I was just thinking that actually you'll have loads of like postgrads that just come here like research or whatever, but they're like, I'm not doing freshers. How do I meet people? Like,
so we didn't even like clock how much of a not a market, but how many postgrads would actually be interested in it, because every single time we've done it, we've had the most responses from freshers and postgrads, which has been really, really nice, because I think it is so difficult if you're coming for research and there's might be 2 of you who you've met, and it's really difficult to meet other people, and you might not be going out in the same way.
Exactly.
So I think it is a really nice opportunity, and it gives you something to talk about. And there's also no pressure to never see them again.
Exactly. You're like, oh, we just met through this. Not my cup of tea. Bye. So what is like the next thing coming up for Dinner with a Stranger? Have you got another?
So our last questionnaire just went out, and I think we've got we also do, as well as the questionnaires, we try and do monthly events as well. And we're not doing one for December just because of exams. Fair. We're going to start back up in January. So we've done like we do collaboration events with other societies to get people more involved with and know what it is. So we've done like, it's kind of like friendship speed dating. We did that with Charity Fashion Show.
Oh, bless, yeah.
And so like it was like friendship bracelet making, and it was on one table, and it was like learn as much as you can about your friends on another table. We've done pub quizzes. So we've done quite a few things, and that's a chance for you, if you've met fun people, to come and introduce them to your other friends. Yeah. And so they're quite nice environments.
Good icebreakers as well, so you can have like that sort of fun, chill, relaxed environment to meet people and not be like, I'm in a nightclub or this person's super drunk, and or like in uni and lectures and being like, you can't talk.
I think the next ones coming up are like, we're going to do an arts and crafts type of night. Ooh. So I think it might be, I don't know if we settled on candle painting or like tote bag painting.
That would be very fun.
But I think that's coming up in the next semester, and potentially we're thinking about a murder mystery evening. Ooh. Like one of those like dinner parties and get everyone like solving all like, so you can get those packs. Yeah. And that, no better way to bond anyone than over a murder mystery.
I mean, I did do so last year. I did the Halloween party. Oh yeah. I did like a murder mystery theme. And like had clues all over the West End and had everyone like running around to like different pubs trying to like solve the clues. Yeah, I think it went quite well.
It was quite good.
So yeah, murder mysteries do bond people.
Yeah, thanks for sharing all that. Yes. It's honestly like, it seems quite like a good way to meet people when you're coming into a new environment, and yeah, it's really good that you guys have set that up and made it a lot easier. We'll link all that below, and we'll link to like the society, and if you want to get involved. Yeah.
How can people find? You and the society.
Well, we've got an Instagram titled Dinner with the Stranger Society.
Listen,
Really complicated, but we are the only ones. So, and it's got a beautiful little pink logo, and it's basically for anyone who is in Glasgow. So
it's not like specific to like girls or boys or anything like that.
No,
it's for everyone.
It's for everyone.
Okay, lovely.
So the pink, don't let the pink throw you off. It is for everyone. And we do obviously take safeguarding into account. So we do ask people, like, if you'd only like to be paired with people in your year, or if you're happy to be paired with people like in other years, and if you want to be paired with someone who's the same gender identity as you or not.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of we do try and make it everyone as comfortable as possible. So if you say you only want to be with another girl, you'll only be with another girl.
Oh, that's so smart, actually. Yeah.
Do you have any? Are there ever any like romance stories from them?
We only
They go
started in
past-
September, so not to our knowledge
Not
yet.
We've
But
got
if anyone gets married, we better be invited.
we've got Valentine's coming up. Are you doing anything specifically Valentine's themed?
No, we did have to, when we were advertising at Freshers Fair, we did have to shoo a few people away because they seemed to think it was dating.
Speed dating, yeah.
And we went,
It's not us.
it's friendship. So this man came up, and it was really weird because he came up and spoke to one of the other girls in the society, Ore,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, what do I have to do to get paired with you?" And she was like, "No."
Oh my
And he was saying that,
god.
she's like, "I need to cross that." There's too
Oh
much.
no. Could you imagine? He's rocking up on the February sign up sheet. He's gonna be like that. That's quite terrifying, actually. I don't think about the sort of the creepy side of dealing with people, but good that you've got your safeguarding in place to be like, no
that's good.
creeps allowed. But yeah, no, I'm very tempted to try it, actually.
Yeah, maybe try it once. Yeah.
Put my name down and be like, I'm off on a wee friendship date.
Because you get the whole month to decide when you're going to see people. You don't have to
Yeah.
go for dinner. People go for. I think I've gone to brunch with my group. Some people have gone for drinks.
Oh yeah.
It's completely open, so you can literally you can stay as long or as little as you want.
Yeah.
So you could even, do it in the morning and be like, I've got a class. So then if you do have a class, you could actually go.
Yeah.
And then you can get people's contact details if you want to see them again.
Fair. Would you ever have a situation that people get matched again? Like, has that ever come up, or can you envisage that coming up? But like, if they didn't enjoy it the last time.
So people have messaged us directly and been like, hey, like, I've been put with a couple of the same people as last time. And that's just completely luck. Or people have texted us being like, by the way, we're actually best friends. We don't want to be together.
Isn't that just validating for you? You're like,
it should be.
we sussed
For
it.
them as well.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
oh yeah, this is why
we're
we're
meant to be
friends.
friends.
So if that ever comes up, people just DM us or email
Okay.
us, and we can just add them. We just message another group and say, hey, by the way, we've got an extra person for you guys. And people are pretty
Chill.
like welcome. No one's been like, we don't want anyone extra. Everyone's quite happy to have someone else. And people sometimes put in the notes to us, don't match me with like these people. They were in my previous group.
Oh, okay.
So
don't match me because I
please
don't
don't
like
match
them.
Someone said match you with only attractive people.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I was just thinking, like, how does that even?
I don't even know.
I sat there and I went, what?
Wow. Then
He's like, group of 2, only attractive people, and I went,
replied, "This is not a swingers club.
I'm like,
Please leave.
get out, please.
Oh my god. I want all the juicy gossip now, so we might have to invite you back on for like more updates after a year. Be like, right, tell us more.
Let's get the romances.
Exactly. Oh no, that's quite freaky actually. Like, only matches with attractive people. I'm like, who are you? Bless. Cool.
So yeah, as always, we're going to do a Q&A. If you want to like ever put in questions for a Q&A, we usually put up an Instagram story, or I end up just going like around the student room, Reddit, just around the internet, like asking and like collating questions. So the first question I have, any tips/advice for making friends at uni?
Oh, wonder where we've heard this question before.
I think just throw yourself into everything, because even if something might not 100% be your cup of tea, just go and try it, because you never know what you might enjoy. Because I know some people who've started a new sport at uni. Like, I think there are people I know who started frisbee, had never played frisbee in their life, and now love it. Like, and they don't play it competitively, but just play it for fun. And I think that's really important, is just go into things with an open mind. Because you can end up just finding something new you love. If you can stay at halls, stay at halls. But if you're staying at home, you can still make friends as long as you just put the effort in, because it might be a little bit harder, but it makes such a difference if you put the effort in the first 2 months.
Yeah.
Because you'll meet so many people, and it's like you just don't know who you're going to click with.
Yeah.
So don't try and whittle it down to this is my best friend within the first month or so.
Exactly.
Because I would say, like, the people I consider my closest friends now, I probably wouldn't have said that until second year.
Yeah.
And that was when I was like, oh, actually, like, now after a bit of time, and you also mature, I think, and you've changed. It's like who you actually are really close friends with. Like, I wouldn't have said the people I am now, like, would say these are gonna be my friends post uni.
Yeah.
It took me till midway through second year to figure it out.
Fair. Yeah, I agree. Like, just chuck yourself into everything. Also, like, remember, depending on where you're coming into uni, a lot of people are going to be in the same position. So I think that was the thing with freshers. Everyone's a fresher. Everyone's new. Just go and say hi. You're all in the same boat. If you've got a thought in your head, someone else is going to have a similar thought. Never, obviously we're all in a main character energy at the moment, but like never assume you're on your own in everything, because there's going to be someone sat next to you that probably is thinking the exact same thing, and all it takes is for you to be like, hi, how are you? Introduce yourself, and boom, you've got someone. Especially like in lectures and stuff. I think with clubs and societies, that's you like putting the effort to go out there. But if you're really shy and reserved, being in a lecture can be a really good way to just sort of turn to the person next to you and just a quick, hi, my name's this, or like, can I borrow a pen, and get a kind of a conversation going in that way.
Ask a random question. Like,
exactly. Sorry.
Being like, oh, do you know where this building is?
Yeah.
Anything just to
open up a conversation. Yeah. Like, I think if you're quite anxious or shy, like maybe have something pre-built that you can get off your chest, asking for directions, borrowing a pen, sorry, did you catch what the lecturer said? Like that kind of thing to get you more loosened up, and then I think things will flow from there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I definitely think actually another question was like, you know, tips for like people who are maybe more shy or like anxious or reserved.
Yeah.
And like, to be fair, like in my like now I'm a little bit more like open and outgoing, but going back, like I'm definitely very like, I was a shy and reserved person. I still quite am. Like,
yeah.
I'm more reserved about talking about myself and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But advice for that is like, there's always going to be like difficulties with that. There's difficulties. You're in a new environment. You know, everybody's pretty anxious. I'm a very anxious person, got anxiety in that. So it's like hard to like go up and talk to people. But like if you are joining societies and that, like I know it's quite hard to like want to like go up to people. I know like shy people want to anxious people. They want to talk. The issue is actually getting that step and like talking. Yeah. And a lot of the times, it happened to me like multiple times. People came over to me and ended up like starting conversation, and like they could tell like I was a bit like, oh hi, like very like
talk to you.
It's very like quick, like sharp answers, but like
yeah.
People are nice. You know, Glasgow's a nice city. People are really nice. Like they do end up like talking to you more. They're like, oh, do you want to come to this? Like, we're gonna do this. Do you want to come? That was my experience. So like, yeah, people do end up sort of like helping you a wee bit. But like, yeah, if you join societies, you're gonna find people that are like similar interests, similar sort of things that they like as well. So like even like just like conversations, like if you're in a society, like there's a Shrek society. Oh, what's your favorite Shrek movie? Oh, that's mine too. What's your favorite character? Oh, that's mine too.
And also don't take it personally as much as possible if you lose touch with certain people. So I think it's very easy to rush into first year having a group of people, especially if you're in halls. You're like, okay, these are my friends. And then like you go to second year, you maybe move out of halls, you're doing something slightly different depending on your course, and you sort of lose touch with people. And you start to think, oh, is it me? Did I say something? Did I do something? Oh, they don't want to be my friend, or they don't want to hang out. Sometimes it is that people are just busy and have other priorities, and don't take it that that's because of you that they don't want to talk to you or they're busy and stuff like that. Just move on and mingle with other people, make new friends. It's kind of like a repetitive cycle. Like you do have to kind of like keep reintroducing yourself at each stage, especially at uni, because it's like a new chapter each year. But like the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be with it. You'll meet lots of new people, make lots of friends, and then you kind of whittle it down to like your core group. And like I said, third year, even final year, when you've graduated, you'll know who the people you feel confident and comfortable around are, and that's what will like carry you forward.
It doesn't need to be a huge number.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
You know, I know like in first year I had like a massive group of people I was really, really good friends with, and I'm still in touch with some of them.
Yeah.
But it's like we're all so busy, and we've all actually, because we all met at the very beginning and then we kind of stuck together in first year.
Yeah.
We've all actually, I think, each individually made friends with people who are actually more similar to us, and actually that we all get on with better. So that's fine as well. No one's gonna, hold you to like a friendship which you had very initially. But I think the important thing to say also is you're not gonna get on with everyone, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna meet more people than you ever met in your life
Yeah.
in literally such a small span of time. And there is no way you can be best friends with everyone.
It's possible.
And I think it's just, kind of important to just acknowledge that you won't always get on with everyone.
Yeah.
But just kind of moving on and just, it doesn't matter. It, like, not getting on with one person is not going to define, like...
the rest of your life. Yeah.
It
It's
doesn't
really
matter.
not that deep. Just, like, if you click with people, go with it. If you don't, move on. And then...
And just to like wrap up this wee bit, a good segue to the next bit. Do you guys have any stories about maybe an unlikely friendship that ended up happening at uni,
Ooh, unlikely friendship.
or maybe like a scenario that you met someone that you ended up being friends with that was maybe like not like normal or anything,
Not normal friend.
or like the scenario where you're like, oh, I met you outside the club, like outside.
I don't know. That's a tough one. Okay, let's think about that.
I don't think through my friends
Yeah,
and, like,
like-
how I met them.
I think most people have been just through like groups with other people in certain scenarios. Not many people like are just straight up individual.
One person who I'm now like one of my closest friends, we were actually on the same netball team in first year, but since they lived in Murano and I didn't, we were just never very close.
Fair.
And she's also a medic, but we were just never close because we just literally were
Living
not.
in different places.
We're living in different halls, so it's like we were on the same netball team for a year. We were friends, but like we weren't like very close at all. And then second year came around, we actually like I met all of her close medic friends at the post-exam event in first year, and we ended up spending the entire day with each other.
Oh bless.
And I remember very little from that day, but I do remember we all remember having a really nice time.
Oh.
So then going second year, I made more of an effort to see her, her friends and her, and then this year I've happened to move around the corner from her.
Ideal.
So we've actually, and we both moved out of our old team and moved up to a higher team together. So we've actually become like very, very close friends, have dinner together every year after netball, like every day, after we have netball training. So it's like, it can even be people who you've met and not realize you'd be super good friends with, because like now I can't imagine like not having her as one of my really, really good friends. Like that would be really, really weird to me. But,
sort of like cycle back to each other and we're like, hang on.
It's like, but I mean, it's just sometimes just the way it works. Because in first year we just completely had our own friends separately from each other, and I never met her friends because in medicine I never saw her in medicine because we were different cohorts.
Yeah, fair. Gee, sometimes I think it's like not fate, the universe conspiring, but like you met at the right time for each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And now we're really close. Mm-hmm. I did think of another weird one while I was speaking.
Who?
So it's another medic in our year, but so I'm half from India.
Yeah.
So the Cricket World Cup was going on, and I just went, I have no Indian friends here.
Oh bless.
So I was like, right, they're in the final, and I'm not watching this in my room because cricket
It's big.
is an 8-hour game.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm not sitting in my bed because I watched one of the other games at my boyfriend's house, and his parents were like, yeah, go ahead, watch the cricket here.
Yeah.
I think they envisioned a 2 or 3 hour game.
Yeah. No.
8 hours later, I was still on the couch. So I was like, I can't do that again.
Yeah.
So one of the girls in our year for medicine posted a photo, like reposted like something from the Indian cricket team of like them being like, we're in the finals, and I was like,
Friend.
hi, I know we've never met.
Yeah.
And I just messaged her on Instagram and was like, hey, like we've never spoken, we've never met.
Yeah.
But I really want to watch it too. Like, where are you watching it? So we ended up going and watching it at the Strathclyde Union together because they were doing a whole showing of it.
Oh wow.
Which was for every Indian person in Glasgow, I think.
Oh wow.
There was not a single Australian there. It was all Indian, and there was like Indian catering. It was an event.
I would have loved this. Oh.
Me too if we'd won.
Okay, fair.
It was such good fun, and it was just also I met someone who I'd never met before.
Yeah.
And I've seen her Instagram before.
Yeah.
But we've just never like been in. We were talking about it. We've never been in the same cohort. So I
Just
met
never
her.
crossed
I met
paths,
some of her friends, which was nice. And she was like, oh, like for future Indian holidays, we can do stuff together.
Yeah.
Which would be really nice because obviously I miss my family and having them here.
That is so wholesome.
But that's your story.
No, that's good.
That's
That's
beautiful. That's beautiful.
See, that's why cricket's a great sport.
Cricket
uniting
brings people
I
together.
love cricket.
Cricket.
We're just going to promote this now. Cricket World Cup. Oh, I don't think I have anything like that. I think most of my friends are just people I've studied with or like clubs and societies, and you end up maybe having like that late night study session, and then you're like, wow, we're in the trenches together. Friend for life, that kind of thing. But yeah,
it's more like less like unlikely stories around it, or like more like unlikely people that I end up being friends with. 'Cause I'm like, oh, you're so different than me, but we're still good friends. Like,
yeah, I think similar. Like I've moved around a lot, and I don't know. I don't think I'm quite like cliquey as a person. I think I'm very open, and I'm happy to meet new people. So I just know my friendship circle is very like diverse, and there's a mix of personalities, and it does actually sometimes worry me because I'm sometimes like, I'd love to have a big party and have all my friends come together, but what if certain people just clash? And I'm always like, do I have to like not have them come or have them come and stuff like that? But then I'm like, no, it's a celebration of me, so I'm just going to invite everyone.
That's what I was going to say.
And if they're going to fight, they're going to fight, and it's not my problem. But it's that like, silver lining or whatever. I'm happy to make friends with people. I'm very social and outgoing, so do you know what? My friends are a mixed bag. I've met people in different places, and it's been fabulous. So yeah.
Also, if you're friends with, I genuinely believe that everyone you're friends with, they have something in common.
Yeah.
Even if they don't want to admit it, there's a similarity between the two of them that
if
you've both.
I'm the thing you have in common. Talk about me.
Exactly. And if we're here to celebrate you,
Exactly.
we might as well be.
That's it. What about you? Oh,
no, I was just getting
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Everyone I met, I feel like maybe met like in not like bad places, like not like weird places. Met in like a normal place, but like I've met like the right people for me at the right time, and like some people that I met a couple of years ago, I'm not in touch with them anymore. But like at the time, like it was really important having that friendship.
Yeah.
But then friendships grow, they change. Sometimes they like fall out, and that's not really anyone's fault. It just happens. Like people grow.
Yeah.
People change, and
it's that thing like friends for a reason, friends for a season.
Yeah, you meet. I feel like
people
you meet
are
the
there
right people
for the right time.
Yeah, you meet the right people at the right time of your life.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as silly as that sounds, sometimes it is.
You just
like,
passed at the right time.
You just
you're like,
happen to be randomly allocated to the same place at the same time. Like, because this is my thing with us all having placements coming up.
Yeah.
You might end up meeting people who you've never met before. Because I've looked at the list of people where I am.
Yeah.
And I've gone, I don't recognise half these names.
Yeah.
So it's either going to go super well or super badly.
Yeah.
And we'll find out. But I think it's like going into it just being like, this could be really fun.
And you make the most out of the opportunity you're in. Like, if you go somewhere and you're like, I don't know anyone here, I'm a new person completely. If you're going to be, like, really reserved and, like, not make an effort with anyone, that's what you're maybe going to get back. But if you're, like, willing to be, like, open and, like, chatty, and not necessarily chatty, but just open, then people will kind of bounce off you and bounce off that vibe. And then, yeah, I think you'll have a really good experience. But excited for placements, actually.
Yeah.
I think that should be a good time to meet new people.
Yeah. So that wraps up our Q&A. We're just going to do a wee bit of a story time. I have a couple of stories.
Mm-hmm.
Still in that like range of topic of like making friends and that. So I have one from the student room.
Thank you.
I have one from the student room, which is titled "Making Friends at UCL: A Minor Horror Story."
Ooh.
Hey everyone. Just saying, this might get a little depressing, but I'll try keep it positive. Lamau. I've just finished my first year at UCL studying chemistry.
Oh God, it's always a chemist.
I'm really enjoying my course and doing well academically, but I'm really struggling with the social aspect. Before uni started, I joined my course group chat, my Ecom group chat, the ACS Freshers group chat, and I was speaking on the chats, being active, but people started making their own group chats and I just didn't get added. I brushed it off and just thought, it's cool, I'll meet everyone in real life. During Freshers, I attended every ACS event, all my course inductions. I made an effort to meet up with people I'd met or at least message them, etc. but no one really seemed interested. Once again, I brushed it off. It was lonely, but I was kinda still adjusting, so it wasn't my main focus. Some of the nights out, I did leave early. Like, he says 2 a.m.
To be fair, if they're in England, you got clubs till 5 o'clock at night. That's fair.
I looked at that, I was like, what?
2 a.m. clubs shine here.
Some of the nights out, I did leave early, 2 a.m, because I was just getting pushed over in the clubs, and I did feel a bit left out in the groups. Anyways, then a few things happened that kind of set me back to listening to my social anxiety. The worst was on Halloween, when I stayed with a group of girls, rather than leaving with some girls I hardly knew from accommodation near me, because I wanted to try and get to know the girls I was initially with a bit more. We were all having fun, and I didn't want to leave early like I did during freshers. At the end of the night, my phone had died, and the girls I was with didn't care.
Oh no.
A guy with them showed me my route home, and they told me I'd be fine walking. It was a 30-minute walk from Kentish Town to Camden. I was barefoot because my boots had made my feet bleed. I had no idea how to get back to the club to ask for help getting home. And in the moment, I didn't want to force the girls to be around me if they didn't want to. I walked home, got followed by a middle-aged man, and thought I was going to die, literally. But I managed to remember the way as I'd walked a similar route earlier to get a costume from one of the girls from that group. I don't talk to these girls anymore, but that threw me off.
Thank God.
So I just started seeing my boyfriend more after Christmas. I made a few more friends, but one girl was quite discriminatory against Caribbeans, and being of Caribbean descent, this was just another thing that threw me off. I finally reconnected with another group and was with them for a couple of weeks, but then I got ill and had to leave uni for 5 weeks.
Oh, no.
This person's luck is just down the drain.
Every turn is...
I hardly spoke to them during this time, which was my fault, but I was really ill. I came back to uni and they'd got close together and just didn't really invite me too much. I'd been trying with them since two, saying we should meet and trying to organize things, but I just feel like there's not really room for me. Anyways, this year I'm starting a company with my mans, and I've got a committee position, I've got a committee position with the New Society, and I'm joining Law Society as well, and swimming maybe. I just want to know if there's anyone else having these issues, or if anyone has had these issues and found people now, any tips, etc. Also, any tips on finding similar people. I really hate hearing anything bigoted or discriminatory, and I found that with a lot of people at UCL, especially people giving me stuff about being Jamaican, I don't know, I'm open to anything.
She just sounds like she's had the experience of hell for making friends. Like, she did all the things we said to do. And people were not receptive.
It's just rough. Like, you never know how people are going to react. Everyone's different, and she's just unlucky she just met the wrong people for her.
Yeah. I think that sense of, like, going home on her own, that's so sad. Yeah.
I'd be so angry with anyone if I had to do that.
Yeah.
But I can also understand, how she was feeling. Like, I don't want to force people to look out for me who aren't friends with me.
I think it shows, like, also where you are. UCL's in London. I feel like London just has this energy of, like, everyone's sort of out there for themselves a bit. It's a big city, and like, I'm not saying like everyone, but like, it's easy to just be like a small fish in this very giant pond, and there's no like sense of needing to help your neighbour out in some situations. Whereas in Glasgow, if I was on a night out and my phone died, I feel like several people would at least try and say, right, I could get you an Uber, what's your number, pay me back. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, get me to a taxi rank and make sure I've got change to get home.
Or if you, like, saw someone really distressed.
Exactly.
On the street or anything.
Or charge your phone.
Exactly.
Or, like, bleeding, you'd at least be like, oh, can I call you a taxi or something? Can I call you help or anything?
Do you have a friend? We can message them on Facebook or Instagram or something. Like, people go out of their way to help you and make sure you're okay. And I don't know if that's a thing because you never know who that person is to you. You might bump into them around the corner, Byres Road. Oh, I remember you on the night out. Did you get home safe? That kind of thing. So, yeah, that's like quite a big red flag. I'm glad she doesn't hang out with those people again because to show me on a map and walk home for half an hour, I feel like, no thanks.
Yeah, it seems like she's like getting out there as well, getting size, like
and it's
trying to be nice people. Yeah.
It's good that she hasn't gone into the way of I'm not going to try anymore.
Exactly.
Because it's really easy to do that, and they've actually like, right, I'm joining the law society, because
Yeah.
she just might end up meeting
The right
more
group of
people.
people, yeah.
But I think sometimes, you know, when people post stuff like this, they just need other people to say, yes, sometimes it's awful,
Yeah.
but it will be okay. Because I think some
Yeah.
people go into uni expecting everything to go perfectly, because everyone's like, uni is the best time of your life, so it puts so much pressure on you straight off the bat. Because my parents were like, oh, you know, the people you're gonna meet like in the next few days are gonna be your best, like gonna be some of your best friends. And I was like,
Forever, you're like,
that was the stupidest thing I've ever
yeah.
been told.
Don't put that expectation on people. And then you have that lens where you see anyone, you're like, are you gonna be my ride or die for the next like 40 years of our career? Like, it's a really difficult thing to like, a weight of expectation to put on yourself. So yeah, you're right, it's good that she's not given up on that quest for making
sometimes
friends.
you just need someone else, because like you're like, I don't want to give up, but like I need someone to be like, yeah, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
There's still a chance.
And by the sounds of it, she's got a partner as well, so hopefully she can like spend a lot of time with them and then like
she's at least
do it
not alone.
together.
She's got a support system.
Exactly.
It's always important.
Oh,
I
damn.
think it's, you know, also one thing to say is like having like a partner in uni can also be quite difficult with managing that, along with managing friendships.
Yeah.
Because while all your friends might not, and they're spending all their time together, you do have to take time out for a relationship. And it's, you know, it's an interesting thing to also think about, because you can get into situations where you neglect one or the other, and then you know, if you might turn around one day and, you know, your relationship might not have worked out, and realize you've lost your friends in the process. So it's really, really good. I think that this person, like, even though they've got a partner, they've not just said, we only spend time together. She's like, right, I'm gonna join these, I'm gonna do this. So
and then what you said as well is there's always like different dynamics. Like, is your partner in uni as well, in the same course as you? Is your partner out with uni, like not a uni student at all? Like, all those have different dynamics. It's like if they're in the same course, you might have like mutual friends.
Exactly.
Maybe let's make that. If they're like in uni as a student, they've still got that same like experience as you. They still got like the same understanding. If they're out with uni, they may not. It might be harder to like separate your time
and also to integrate your life, because it's really hard if you're trying to cut off time for everyone, as well as your studies, as well as your family. There's a lot to like think about. As well.
It's like proper adulting, and I'm like,
I take it back.
Oh bless.
Right. I have another story, which is a bit of a nicer one.
Okay.
So I always made a point of introducing myself to people that were looking shy. Wouldn't say it's been long enough to say they're all my close friends, but they seem great. This is from a fresher.
Okay.
People who don't know anyone in my lectures have been coming up to me now and asking to sit with me, as they apparently noticed I was warm to people who felt a bit out of place. Meeting people here has been the best bit of uni so far. I think that I could be close friends with most of them, but it's not been long enough yet. So that's nice.
That's positive. That just shows that whole thing of like, just be open, receptive.
And people will notice.
Exactly.
And reciprocate your energy.
Gravitate towards that warmth. That's so nice. Wholesome. Okay, I love these story times, and we've done our week Q&A as well. So now we come to the fun part of the show.
The fun part.
Are you ready
Sorry.
to face the heat of the hot seat? Yeah. So how this part works is Danielle has kindly drafted up a few questions for you, and we're going to give you a minute on the clock to answer as many of them as possible.
What are they about?
Random questions.
They're university related.
Sorry.
And they're around that, I'd say, subject of making friends, being at uni, like trying to integrate yourself around that bubble, but then some are like sort of a wee bit stretching out, but like they're in that university bubble in general.
Okay.
Around making friends. Okay.
We don't tell you like yes or no. We'll go through the answers at the end, and then we'll just give everyone else a chance to try and answer.
It's going to be 1 minute you'll have, and it's just answering
as many as possible.
As many as possible, and as many as right. So like,
okay.
Because if you go crazy, like I've got a limited number of questions here.
Yeah, so we're not gonna. You're gonna smash them all. We'll be like, well, she doesn't have to do a challenge. Right, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
According to university statistics, what percentage of students typically engage in clubs and organizations to meet new people?
80.
Okay. Based on university data, do students living on campus residencies tend to form friendships more easily than those living off campus?
Yes.
What's the average number of social events or mixers organized by university each semester to facilitate student interactions?
So many, like hundreds. Like, I'd go like 700.
According to survey, do students generally find it easier to make friends with their academic department or an extracurricular?
Extracurricular.
Based on uni enrollment data, do international students face unique challenges in making friends compared to domestic students?
Yeah.
What's the most popular social platform among university students for making new friends?
Instagram?
Which university has the best overall mental health rating?
Ooh. What university?
Yeah.
Best mental health. Is this in the world?
No, in the UK.
Oh, I wouldn't know that.
Ooh. Right, I'm going to strike off London. It's a happy place.
I know, literally, like, happy party.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Like, Kent could be quite happy.
that's
I don't know,
a solid shout.
Green,
Okay, and
sunny.
just a wee follow-up question to that.
Wait, no, we finished.
No, it's fine. We'll give her one more. Which university has the most students who reported feeling lonely or without support
Somewhere in London.
in the UK?
Surely.
I feel like that's a solid.
That has to be London.
Either that or somewhere really remote. Oh, I'm not going to help.
UCL from the story.
Yeah, valid shout. Okay, so should we go through it? I'll keep score.
So, first question was, what percentage of students typically engage in campus clubs or organisations to meet new people? It is 60%.
Oh,
I think you said
lower than I thought it
yeah,
was.
you said 80%. Yeah, that was close.
You were right in it being easier to form on-campus residency friendships. What is the average number of social events organised by universities each semester to facilitate student interaction?
If you're within 50, I think this is a fair.
It's about 15 to 20.
Huh?
15 to 20.
Oh, you guessed
Organised
700.
by the university.
Oh, like a uni one.
Like
the
unis
I
organise
was thinking
it.
like
All the
clubs.
events.
No,
that
I get what you were
yeah.
thinking, which makes
Oh,
sense.
no,
but no,
absolutely.
like the uni itself organising it.
What, like
I was like closest 50. No, not even.
20 then? If it was that.
I guess a main freshers event and then a few like yeah.
few,
That's
Yep.
not
And you were right about the extracurricular activities being easier to make friends. International students, yes, you were right about that one. The most popular social media platforms are still Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram and
friends.
Facebook.
So you're right in Instagram.
Yeah,
We'll do that
we
one.
get that.
Which university has the best overall mental health rating? What did you think?
I would have thought maybe somewhere in Scotland or Belfast. Oh, I don't know.
It's Reading.
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 Jesus Christ.
Right. I think they might have a high happiness rating for other reasons than just happiness.
Silver linings again.
And which university had the most students reported feeling lonely or without support?
Oh, I was going to think like East Anglia or somewhere like really remote.
Lancaster.
Lancaster.
Oh,
Yes.
Kind of remote, I guess. Not really, actually.
just
Actually,
sad.
Yeah.
So what was the count?
4.
4.
Straight out the bat. 4. That's a really good.
That's higher than I think we've ever got.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, actually. We get like a solid 2 or something. Those questions
We
are
get
hard.
1 to-
You start asking statistics, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Uh,
But yeah, how did you find your time in the hot seat?
It was good.
Manageable.
But it was fun. But also, how would you ever know some of those questions?
yeah,
No,
it's
same.
mostly
I was
just a guess.
Shoot in the dark. And if I get it, I'm really happy. If not, oh well.
If not,
Yeah.
you get 700. So
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining on today's episode. I hope you enjoyed your time with us. Yeah, we've had a lot of fun, I think. It's
Yeah.
been a really good episode.
Got any closing messages about making friends at uni and your society in general?
well, if you need to make friends and you're at Glasgow, Dinner with the Stranger Society every single month. And we post it always on our Instagram, and we've got a lounge so you can look at both. For making friends, just go for it, to be honest. Everyone's in the same position.
Yeah.
Everyone feels the same way. And don't put so much pressure on yourself, because some people will make friends straight off the bat and know exactly who they're going to be friends with.
Yeah.
And other people, you might meet the right people and just it might just take you a year to get close
gel.
enough to them,
Yeah.
or to actually have the opportunity to spend more time with them. So don't stress about, like, I know it's easy to don't stress about it, but it will all come together. And if you ever feel lonely, other people feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
Like, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Good
So-
coming together. Also, if anyone is feeling like lonely or just wants someone to chat, definitely just reach out to us, because that's the point of our wee podcast
Yeah.
and things like that. Like,
There's so many resources that are available. Like, there's people you can talk to. There's numbers you can call.
Yeah.
Even just to chat to anyone anonymously.
yeah, we'll definitely try and
Like,
signpost a little
yeah,
bit as well.
University, like different universities have different mental health services. There's a lot available. It's just hard, like, reaching out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
but it is out there.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
So anyway, hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming on, and we'll wrap it all up.
Yeah, so
And
thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out these episodes again on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok to engage and like stay up to date with everything that's happening. But yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.